some more to handle here. As
Mm.
well, guys, let's shift gears here. Let's shift gears a little bit here and head over to the Prospect League. And
Yes.
this league is interesting. We're pretty much in this league a lot like how I guess Novice end up shaking out. It looks like there's only 5 picks. What is that? I know four. There's 6 picks in the final 2 rounds, but the first 2 rounds are absolutely jam packed. We got 32 picks in the first 2 rounds, and my goodness, were there a lot of moves that were made, Gallium, here
Yeah.
in the Prospect League?
Hey, I was one of them. All right. So I got my boy. I actually have a player on the Rooks. I know, surprise, surprise. That's all resigns people. My boy Mocha Latte. Okay.
Mm.
And a lot of people don't know about this dude, but he is going to be a great player on the Rooks. He was novice last season, a great sub, really reliable. That's why I know that guy's going to be great. And he played great in the playoff game. But I have 3 picks within 5 picks. So I have pick 15, 19, and 20. So I'm going to be typing a little bit
Okay,
towards
okay.
that. But like a lot of prospect moves because of how top heavy this prospect draft class is. I mean, you have Kyler at 20. What are we like? Yeah, all right. This is kind of nuts. Like you got Kyler at 20, Crotera at 21, and then you have literally probably the best player in prospect, Seawall. Definitely going to be, if the Warhawks don't take Seawall, what are you doing? Cozy, you got to lock in on Seawall because that guy is dangerous.
Yeah, there are a lot of really good names, and the one thing I said before, I think I said this at the draft lottery, but I want to bring it back here as well, is with the way the league boundaries change, this prospect league, it's got some some crazy players out here, Mallow. There are some, like Gallium was kind of saying, it is loaded up here at the top.
Yeah, I don't know how you could go wrong with the pick, to be honest. It's going to all come down to chemistry because just an insane amount of good players. Even just looking at the top, you could say top 15, top 20. Like,
Hmm.
there are so many good players on the top part of this board. You really can't go wrong other than chemistry. And you never know how that goes.
Yeah, you really never do. And well, we're gonna get this thing going here. And Grebsy, I'm gonna throw it to you as we kind of move into things here in the prospect league with the Warhawks trading for the number 1 overall pick. They have got a lot of picks in the first round. They have 3 picks, the Warhawks do, in the first round. So not only can Beemar do it over there with diffusion, but over here, Cozy Boy, he made some work in the prospect league to get 3 first rounders.
Dude,
That,
he's taking the Beamar approach.
Yeah, exactly.
he
So
had to have done some incredible trades there to get that 3 in the first round.
Yeah, it's no joke. It's no joke out here. And we talked about being a new GM. A lot of times these new GMs do make a lot of moves to get in the first round, and the first overall pick is going to go off the board. It is going to go to Awuji, formerly in the
What?
Fruit Ninjas org. He's the first one off the board, and Gallium, you seem very surprised about that one.
Listen, I love Luigi. I think genuinely top 3, but not drafting Seawall. He must have a plan because this cozy guy, based off his novice draft, he's going a little under the rug, right? He's going under the rug. He's looking at the bugs. He's like, yeah, I want these kind of lower bugs so I can fill out my team. But these bugs are really good. I'm not gonna lie. Awuji, I love him as a player. I think he's definitely like in 6 mans. If I see Awuji on the other team, I'm shaking in my boots. Quite frankly, I do not like going up against him, so I'm glad I'm in Chally. Thank you.
There you go. And yeah, Wuji going off the board first to the Warhawks, who I was trying to look for their roster. Just have Cozy Boy on it. So maybe this is why he stacked it up. It's him. He's on the roster there, so he wants to make sure he gets a good team out there. Gonna take a Wuji, and Ember is gonna come through and select Jeff Masters.
What?
Another legend of the craft here. Former caster in the booth there, Jeff Masters. Good to see him back and on the team here, and he's going second overall to Smooth there. And Mallow, I know you got a little bit of connection with Mr. Jeff Masters, being from that sloth organization.
yeah. The pick itself is surprising as far as the what number it is being the second pick, but the player, the person, fantastic guy. I don't fault him. Do not fault him. I think Smooth definitely has some sort of plan here. Pulling out Jeff Masters first, maybe there's some great chemistry going on, and he's already got 3 in mind or something. Actually, I say 3 in mind, but how many players do they currently have on the roster? I'm all over the place right now,
The
trying
Rooks
to
have
find
1
it.
right now. Ember has 2 on the roster right now. Sub-Zero and Sea-Wink, and Jeff Masters will be the 3rd.
Oh, okay. So they were finding their 3rd then. Got it.
Mm.
Gotcha. Yeah, that's a pretty solid lineup there, and Jeff Masters is a 3rd. Yeah, that's gonna be pretty good. So I can't wait to see how that team works. I think he was technically a sub last season, so you didn't see much of him, but fantastic player and just fun to play with.
And definitely, and Galen, you were shocked to not see Seawall or Qual off the board there, but he is going to go off the board 3rd to Flurry. So a little bit of a shakeup. I think a lot of people were surprised by these first 2 picks here.
No, I'm very surprised. And it's not because they didn't pick Seawall. I feel like he's definitely like top 5, top 3. It's they went down like all the way to grab these players. I mean, Wuji definitely was up there, but I did not expect him to go top 3. I thought he was going to go top 5. Jeff Masters going 2nd overall. Listen, I really love the guy. I think he's a great player. But with Seawall on the board, and let me tell you why. I have some trauma from Seawall, and Dan picking up him 3rd overall. That's a great pick from Dan. I respect that. This guy literally season 8 playoffs. Okay, me, Mealy, Louie against this Seawall guy, and when I tell you this guy was hitting flip resets on us and just absolutely cooking us, that is an understatement. I mean, this guy literally embarrassed me in playoffs. Like, I do not want to go up against this guy. I'm shaking up just thinking about it.
Yeah, I mean, there are some crazy players, and yeah, I think a couple of surprises out in the top 2. But Jeff Masters, that is a very very solid man right there, going up there, and it is very star-studded at the top here. As the next pick is going to come off the board, Crotera is going to the Melons there. So moving up, the MVP of last season, moving up to the Prospect League now, and the Melons starting fresh there, Grebsy, and that's a guy you want to pick up there. Crotera, you can't go wrong with a former MVP for your first pick.
No, absolutely not. He's a very technical player. He knows how to read the game and play off of it. He's a very solid pick. I'm not jealous of the people who are gonna have to play against him.
Yeah, it's gonna be.
I like it.
Could be tough.
I love it. I love it. Okay, so this is the pick I was talking about. So Shadow is like hitting me up, and he's like, "Yeah, I really want to take Crotera with the 4th pick," and I'm like, "Yeah, I think it's a great idea." Like, I'm surprised about the Jeff Masters and Wuji pick. I'm not surprised about the Crotera pick, and here's why. On my Gambits team, this dude is an absolute beast. One of the most consistent players on the pitch. You're going to find every time one of the fastest players. And he works well with basically anybody. You throw like 2 860 MMR players on his team, he's going to win. And he's not going to beat you with his mechanics. He's going to beat you by bullying you in the midfield. So I think it's a great pick for Melons. And I'm really excited to see what DRX has cooking, as DJD is cooking right now with Sticky Kazoo. What is that name? What are we doing?
I was thinking the same thing here. I'm not gonna lie. Saw that and I was like, what is going on here? But I mean, I've clicked on his profile. He's got a full background and everything. So this man is committed to the bit. So in that way, we gotta give him some respect points on that one. So yeah, he's gonna go to Hypernova there. Sticky Kazoo, top 5 pick. Gonna go with Cream and Sticky Kazoo. That's a duo right there to start things off. Our glorious streamer here. Thank you, Cream. Shout out to Cream for streaming this one. So Cream is a teammate there. Sticky Kazoo is going to be the number 5 overall pick.
That is nuts.
I
love that.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy. The name itself, I love it. So, we go back to Crotera here. Crotera being MVP provisional, mind you. So I'm over here just waving goodbye as he just flies over my head right into prospect.
Yep.
So that's a great pickup. And then Sticky Kazoo there going to go with Cream, and then of course Shadow with the Fruit Ninjas. The Melons select the teammate for Crotera being Street Soul.
Street Soul off the board too. Another great Nemesis member right there, Street Soul, taking that one in, and I mean that's a great start right there. Cortera and Street Soul. I'm liking what I'm seeing from the Melons there. Definitely a good roster build to start things off. So, I mean, hey, top 6 picks coming in, and I haven't seen really anything wrong so far. It's not a pick where I was like, I mean, well, maybe besides some of the names, but a little confusing. But yeah, a good start there as the Blackhawks now. They were also making some trades. They have 2 picks in the first round as well. The first one going to go to Finner with their selection, who he's got his About Me. He's grinding. So, and he's in a Rocket League private match right now.
Oh my gosh.
Right,
this guy's the GOAT.
He is down 0-3 though.
What?
Sorry, but he is on the grind. So I mean, tough times. You got to go through.
Maybe
tough
he'll
times.
come back. If he comes back and wins this game, this is the most genius pick I've ever seen in my entire life. I trust Midnight with my life. Like if Midnight didn't pick me up, I am grinding to get better. I'm being so serious. Like if Midnight didn't pick me up, it's not because wow, this GM sucks. It's like no, I'm not good enough. Like no, I didn't deserve Midnight's love and affection. Like what are we doing? But Finner, I love that pick.
Yeah, that's a good one. There is the Blackhawks. What's their roster going to look like now? I think they're going to have 2 now. Yeah, they got Music and Finner on the board here, and the Gladiators are going to come through and select Chiefs RL, who was a former Challenger player, I believe, moving down from I think season 7. He was on the Bishops, I believe. He's a runner-up from season 7, I believe, on the Bishops. So definitely another solid pick, and that's the one thing to look at too, Mallow, as we go into these new seasons with new boundaries. Sometimes you can find these players that have moved down just so slightly with the changing boundaries into a lower league, and when people have that higher league experience, it can be the big difference.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's the thing. You see people move up, and players move up, and you're not surprised, but you're even more surprised by players that move down. And sometimes it's just the boundaries, the way they work out, and then you're just like with we talked about Frosty and Novice, going out of prospect. That's another example of that, is just people moving down, just barely below that limit. And Chiefs is one of those that you're surprised to see in prospect, because he is a great player.
Yeah, definitely so, and we'll see how he performs as he goes to the Gladiators. Their foam starting out fresh with Chiefs RL there, 1402, so a lot of room to work with still. And then Faded's going to come through and select Kodo Too High, going to the Faded roster, and that's going to round out their roster actually. So you got Bryce, Seaben, Kodo, and Solid on the roster. They're Faded. Mr. Beamar, Gallium, he is cooking once again, full roster here. Pretty much the start around, or I guess the middle of round 1.
Yeah, first full roster on the board, I'm pretty sure. Yeah.
Well, second actually. There was a team that's not going to have a draft pick. It might be me.
Oh yeah.
Origin.
Oh yeah, that's fine. Okay, so really like that Kodo pick. He's a former teammate of mine. Really great guy, and I think he is definitely a player to look out for, especially if you put him in a position of success. I feel like he's definitely going to succeed. And I think with what is it, Bry or Bree? I don't really know. And Seaben and Bree are 2 very good players, and Solid is probably solid. So we'll see.
Actually, the third, now that you look at it, because the Vipers, they have a full team as well. They had Kat and Brad McSnackwrap move up from Novice up to prospect, and that team already, looking at that, CJ Fire also, he moved up. So yeah, that entire team looks pretty crazy too. So so now we got an idea of what a couple of these teams were going for, and then these next picks coming in, Rocker Man. They're looking good.
Yeah, they are looking good. And I want to touch back on a previous story. Finner is down 0-7. I'm so sorry, Finner. But
Wow.
that the private matches, they don't mean anything really.
Yeah, no.
It's all
He's
about
just in
it's all
like
about
a
the
six
grind.
man against like, some
Yeah.
SSLs. Don't worry about it.
He was training, so that's all right. Best of luck, Finner. For real. Unfortunately, down at 0-7, but he'll bring it back. I believe in the Blackhawks and Midnight over there. He builds a good roster, so I believe. But yeah, we do have a couple more picks coming off the board. Banshee's going to go ahead and select KSU Wildcats, and the Warhawks are going to come through and select Brindy the Blade. Another
No.
Nemesis legend off the board, and Gallium is in immense pain right now after that pick.
Dude, I told this guy, I'm like, you know what? These GMs just build you the worst rosters ever to try to win a championship. I need to get you on a championship team. And this guy's like, no, I'm not even that good. Like, bro, yeah, you're one of the best players. Stop talking to me like that. He was definitely going to be on my team. And now I'm mad that he's not. So probably going to go cry now. It's whatever.
Hey, it happens sometimes. We'll be thinking of you as
Thank you.
give out a little cry. So,
Yeah.
but you still got a lot of room. You still got to pick in this first round too. So
Yep.
there is possibilities for
Mhm.
sure. As the next pick is going to come off the board, Jonesy is going to be the one going to Velocity, and his about me says terrible at responding, but you know what? Maybe he'll be good at the game. So maybe it's a trade off. I think it's a trade off there.
I like that. I like that theory.
Mm-hmm. It's a bold theory. Even with all myself.
I'm sure you did, Rocket Man. Just like you came up with the Nemesis Gaming League. I mean, you're our savior.
It's true.
Yeah.
It's true.
The messiah of the Nemesis Gaming League. Love that.
Yeah, something like that. But anyways, on to the next here as the picks are coming rapid fire. It's Zabungi off of the board going to the Wyverns. Love big Zabungi over there. That's a Nemesis legend for sure right there. Season 4 champion on my Origin squad. Love Zabungi. He's gonna go pair with Quackbot, and what I'll say, guys, Zabungi, he gives the best pregame speeches in the Nemesis Gaming League. You can't you can't beat it. Just trust me. Once you hear a Zabungi pregame speech, you're gonna win the game, guaranteed.
I love that. I'm a huge fan of that. I think Zabungi is definitely one of the best players in Prospect, and especially in the 6-man cycle. I've gone up against him a couple of times. That guy is he's pretty good. So good pick.
Definitely so. What are you thinking over here, Grebsy, about these last couple picks as they've kind of flown off the board pretty quickly?
Yeah, I was going to say most of these names have been a bit above my pay grade, but these last couple ones I'm actually quite familiar with. I've played with and against Zabungi, I think in 6-man sometimes. And Bradish himself, I believe, who was just picked here, was a menace when he was down in the Novice League. This is a great pickup, honestly.
Yeah, definitely looking good there. And yeah, Music and Midnight there, they're cooking some stuff up there with some trades that were made. So we'll see. And once again, the Central Division is giving me it's looking a little dangerous there, as we didn't talk about this, but KSU Wildcats going to pair the Banshees. You got Ahmed and Cognition on the Banshees, and that was already a dynamic duo. Adding KSU Wildcats, if he can fill that spot there with his MMR 15 or 1454, that is a lot of potential right there for the Banshees. So I'm maybe a little bit concerned, not too concerned, but something to watch there, as this pick is going to go off the board. The Rooks are coming through, Gallium. You guys are selecting Maki with your pick. I think you got some familiarity with that guy from a couple seasons ago.
What? No. Okay, so the reason I knew who Maki was is because back when I was Smooth's AGM, he picked up Maki, and Smooth went on and on about how mechanical this guy was and how he was going to win Ignited Chip. Turns out, did not happen. I don't think he meshed well with the other players because Maki requires a certain type of team to be as successful as he is, because this dude is incredibly mechanical and he's really fast. I mean, this guy is really fast. So looking to build a team around him, and I think I have the right players. Yeah, I think I have the right players in mind. So
Okay.
we'll see how these next picks come out.
He's cooking. He's cooking something up there. And speaking of cooking, the Warhawks with their third pick of the first round are coming through, and they are going to go ahead and select Dukes with their pick. So they've got Awuji, Cozy Boy, Bernita Bladen, Dukes, as that's going to
Wow.
round out the first round. And well, Grebsy, I'm gonna throw it to you to comment on this Warhawks roster. Being now that it's your new org there, your prospect affiliate there, what are you thinking about that team, the Warhawks? My opinion, I think it's looking a little scary.
Let me look at here now. I'm very familiar with Awuji as well, and Brindy, as I said. They're great players. I'm familiar with their work, and I think they're going to play very well together here. Even if Brindy's a lower MMR there, and it might be a sub. He's a very solid player to have. I'm not so familiar with Dukes himself, but from what I've seen in the stats, he tends to be in the upper half of most of the stats that I've seen. And same with Cowboy. I think I've seen him up there, top 10 a couple times. So that's a pretty scary team.
Yeah, it's looking a little bit dangerous. Mal, I'm gonna throw it to you. What do you make of this prospect first round before we move on to round number 2? There were a lot of big names off the board.
Oh yeah, it's a lot of great picks coming off the board here. Qual going to 3, definitely a surprise. Top Jeff Masters being the second, also surprised. But Wuji going number 1, I can see that. But with Qual on there, you would definitely be a little surprised with that. But this first round, a whole lot of players. But I'm also surprised to see, Guja, Monkey Bacon, and Crispy still on the board specifically. Plug-in is another one on there that I'm surprised is also still on there. There's a whole bunch of others too. Like I could go on and name about half of them because I recognize a lot of these players. And but still, yeah, good first round.
Yeah, definitely. Gallium, any thoughts quickly before we move on to round 2?
I'm gonna have some picks in quick succession here. I just want to say apologize to the other GMs for who I'm about to pick. Yeah,
okay.
let's get it started. Let's get it started.
Okay, he's getting it started here as well. Let's move on to round number 2 here, starting with the first pick already on the board. Foam, he's wasted no time. He's going to select Creed off the board, who I'm surprised was not re-signed anywhere. I'm surprised he went to the draft, as he was one of those guys. The Creed Ahmed combo and the Banshees was kind of scary. So maybe good that they're split up. But he's now heading over the Gladiators. So you got Creed and Chiefs RL on the board there for the Gladiators. And the Bandits are going to go ahead and select Spooky with their picks. So two picks back to back here. Is I got to find the right one, hopefully. Oh, nice. Got the right one there on the board there. A couple Spookies in there, but two
That's
picks
spooky.
there. Two picks there really quick, Mallow, as the Bandits are going to get 3 on their roster with Wolfie, Charm, and Spooky, and then Creed is going to be the second for Gladiators.
Yeah, those are some good picks to start the second round. Creed definitely a really solid player. So to see him go over to the Gladiators with Chiefs, that's already a scary duo in my opinion. Because we've seen both of them play in their respective teams and leagues, and to see that to start out with, I don't think they're going to repeat the 0-18 that they did last season. So that's definitely a good start for them. And then of course the Bandits, I believe, getting their first pick of the draft, selecting Spooky. That's all. I don't necessarily know, if they changed their name or whatnot, but that's a real good pick for Wolfie and Charm.
Yeah, allegedly, I don't know if what Sands is saying is true, but allegedly he was on Arrival at some point. But I don't know. I don't know what that means, to be honest. I don't recognize the name, I don't think. If they were on Arrival, I apologize, but I do not recognize. Might have been a name change. But yeah, Spooky's gonna go over there to the Bandits. Sands is always making some moves there, and Gallium back-to-back picks in succession here. As I'm gonna find the second one, but Gallium, you could let us know about Rami and Press.
Yeah.
Prex. I don't know. There's an X in there. I don't know why there's an X in there.
I'm just gonna keep it a little quiet about these two players. My roster is filled out. I feel like both these players bring a certain value to the team, a certain amount of assets. I don't want to get in too deep because I gotta maintain my aura. Sorry.
Your aura.
Yeah, gotta be a
The,
little mysterious.
the mysterious aura. Okay. Can't hype him up too much. You got to keep him on the down low.
Yeah, yeah. Shh.
Yeah,
I will
understandable.
say your fourth player, Mocha Latte, excellent name.
Yeah, dude, I love him. I'm a big fan. Big fan.
Love that. So that's another roster completed here. So we got a what is that? 4 rosters completed? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We got 5 rosters already filled out here. Warhawks faded, Origin, Rooks, and then the Vipers. So a couple rosters completed. Grebsy, which of those rosters here? We have 5 completed. Which of those completed rosters are you liking the most at the moment?
Oh, I mean, it's really hard to know, honestly. Let's see here. Origin, honestly, with Jaeger's there, I know he's a very solid player, and Speed Demon himself as well. I'm unfamiliar with Sweeney, but he does, and again, in the stats, do very well. So I think they're actually going to be a pretty scary team.
Okay, fair enough. You know what? I will agree with that. Wholeheartedly agree that as the Evolution GM and my Origin boys, we don't get a pick in today's draft, but I made some trades to make it happen there. So I'm loving that team. Sweeney, back-to-back MVP of the Prospect League. He's returning for the 3-peat. So he's looking to make history there. In the Prospect League. We'll see if he can do it though. I don't know. I mean, it's gonna be hard when you got two absolute legends next to you, but we'll see. I got big high hopes for my Origin boys there, but we'll see how it goes for that one for sure. And it looks like next pick is off the board here. Flurry is going to go ahead and select Dill, and then Ember is going to go ahead and select Ultimus Rule. So a one unknown, and then one definitely longtime Nemesis member there in Ultimus.
I'm mad. I like there's so many players who I just really wanted, but I just couldn't fit them on my team. So I think Ultimus is definitely one of them. I think probably one of the most well-rounded players in Prospect. I think he brings the best out of all of his teammates. I genuinely think so. Whenever I went up against him, it was always a dogfight. No matter what. I remember, I can't remember what season, but we were on like a big winning streak and we went up against Ultimus Rule. And that guy, I mean, I was stressing so much. Like by the end of the game, I think my hands were like slipping off my controller because of how like sweaty it was. And it was all because of Ultimus Rule. This dude is insane. And he was a sub last season. So now hopefully he'll start smooth. Start him. Yeah, like he's genuinely very good.
Hey, I mean, they'll definitely have some decisions to make as he's technically the lowest player on that Ember roster. They got zero cap room remaining there
Oh
with
wow.
Sub-Zero, Jeff Masters, Sea-Wink, and Ultimus Rules. Smooth had that planned up. He was ready to make that happen. So he used every last MMR that you could use there, and he's going to fill out that roster. So yeah, definitely good. And I see people in the chat, they're hyping up this Dill guy here. I don't know too much about him, but Seawall, Bondo,
Oh my gosh.
Dill, and Izachat. Bondo moving down from
No,
Challenger.
dude,
So
this Flurry team looks like the 2018 Patriots. I'm gonna cry, dude.
yeah.
Please.
You think so?
Oh,
I mean, they look like they could be good. I mean, like we said, Dan, he's got a plan, and it's just how it is. Like somehow, some way, he finds these players. I don't know how he does it, but he does find these players and he makes it work out. So definitely going to be a team to watch out for as they're full. And I'm loving this pick. I was very sad that I had to get rid of or had to let this guy go to the draft, but MP running big, going to the Melons. Love that for him. Absolutely great guy. I would 10 out of 10 draft this guy again if I had room. But just a great guy, ultimate hype man. He's always active, hyping up the team, ready to play. Like this guy he's just a great guy. Just a great guy. I'm happy to see him find a good team there over on that one. And it might be a scary team actually. Crotera, Street Soul, and MP on that team. The Melons, they're looking spicy over there.
And the thing is, with that team, the Melons still can pretty much get almost anyone on the board with their last pick here coming up, because they have a cap room of 1452, which basically puts like I think 25 of the players out there, 25, 26, somewhere around there. that they could pick from. So they have plenty of room here. They could pick up Monkey Bacon if they wanted to, Guja. You know, there's so many different choices here that they could go with.
Definitely so. There's a lot of good names still on the board. I've seen a lot of active names that are still hanging out there. See Crispy, Monkey Bacon, Gucci you mentioned, Kyler, Hydro's out there, KNY, Nixoy, Eclipse, Esoteric, Halo Boys, Tankies. I mean, look at there's just so many people I recognize. Mr. Marino, Sky Newbie. I mean, there are a lot of people that I've seen typing around in the Discord. Have been in Nemesis for a while too. So there are some good names. And speaking of good names, I mean, Hypernova, they said in the chat, I think I saw earlier, they're going for these good names. They got Air Wiggle on the board. Another excellent name there for the Space Jam org.
Oh yeah, and wait until the next one comes up too.
I guess we're going to find out. I don't know who it's going to be, but I'm sure they're cooking something. That's for sure.
But yeah, the next pick, the name for that one too is
This
pretty
one
dope.
is a
Yeah.
Monkey Bacon, the
Mhm.
legend, and that's the Minotaur's first pick actually of the draft. So Monkey Bacon and Chopiana gonna be teaming up there on the Minotaurs. So Grebsy first pickup for them, and you may have seen a little bit of Monkey Bacon before, have you?
Yes, it was a little while ago. I think he moved up very quickly
Yeah.
from when I had played against him. But I do remember just the name is one of those that I recognized when I was going to be playing against him and knew that it was going to be a tough game.
Yeah,
And he's very solid.
he definitely is. He's been around the block a little bit. Season 9 All-Star from last season, so he wasn't messing around. Gonna head to the Minotaurs there. And that's a good pairing right there to start things off. Getting Monkey Bacon. He was used to be around in the Evolution org a while back, so I know good vibes with him for sure, as he's gonna head over to the Minotaurs. And the next pick is coming off the board here, and it is going to be Velocity is selecting Hydro with their pick, another guy who's been around Nemesis for a long time. Like I mentioned, he's going to go off the board to Velocity. So Jonesy, Hydro, and Redwater is the team over there, Gallium, with that three-man trio right there.
I love that. I love that. So Redwater moved up from Novice. He was on acceleration, and that guy was probably, along with Sepp and Jolly Rogers, probably my favorite person to watch. That acceleration team last year was probably my favorite playoff team to watch, regardless. Yeah. Redwater was probably my favorite player. I love the car that he ran. He ran this like little like buggy. I don't know what it was, but it was really cool. I think Jonesy and Hydro, along with Redwater, are one of those teams that are like, why would you, but like once you play against them, it's going to be a whole different story. I genuinely think this is my sleeper team of the draft.
Okay, nice, love that. And I think, like we said, JP, he's been making some moves as well. A lot of trades out on the board. I worked with him a little bit there, so we'll definitely see. Jonesy, I believe, was on the Wyverns last season. Wyverns had a little bit of calamity last season with their roster, but Jonesy can move over there, and Hydra, Redwater, like we said, two Nemesis longtime players there. Good to see them getting together, and good to see them get drafted. As next pick comes through, it's gonna be Peanut going to the Melons there. So that's gonna round out their roster. And Mally, you called it. They went up, used all the MMR they could almost. 1443 for Peanut for their final draft selection.
Yeah, and I don't know who Peanut is. Possibly a new player to the league. When it comes to prospect, a lot of the time, prospect players pretty familiar with if you're a novice player, just because you usually see them and then they move up a season or two later. I don't recall seeing Peanut, but being at 1443, working with Crotera and Street Soul, with probably the starting three, that's a pretty good lineup there. Dr. Shadow really cooking it up with this one.
Yeah, definitely so. And this guy has been around for a while. I recognize the Peanut name. He was on Bandits, I believe, a long time ago, a couple seasons back. I think he's moved around a little bit. Was on the Blackhawks at one point, I believe. So I think he's kind of becoming a little bit of a prospect staple, at least from my recognition. So yeah, good to see him get another team. And yeah, good. Best of luck to them this season. The Melons gonna be looking like a scary team. I will not lie. As the next pick is going to come off the board, the Minotaurs are going to go ahead and select Ad Tai So, who I've been seeing active in the Discord. So that sounds like a good pickup to me. If I was down in these lower leagues, it looks like they're going to have a 3-man roster. Monkey Bacon, Chopiana, Ad Tai So is going to be on their roster for that one.
Yeah,
Gosh.
well, let's.
No, you can go ahead. Sorry, I was
What pick number are we on? I thought we were further down. Maybe
We're on
not.
pick. That was pick 28 of the
Okay,
28 overall. So we're getting
gotcha.
down there.
Yeah, that looking at the picks here and stuff, I was getting confused. I'm like, wait, where is where? But
Yeah.
because that's a Minotaur's a pretty solid lineup too. But I believe they have one more, so and they can get anyone on the board. Or no, they can't. Can they? I don't know.
1508, yeah, they
sometimes
can.
yeah.
They can with
Looking at
1508, yeah.
Sorry, looking at this, sometimes it doesn't update as fast for me, so I can't tell if it's up to date or not. And that's just possibly my end. But anyway, old man technology, you know how that goes. But looking at this though, so many good teams and a couple of scary ones out there for sure. I don't know who to go to start with there, but we looking at the let's see the next pick here. Who's up next, Rocker Man?
Yeah, we got the Wyverns. They've selected Kyler with their pick, so another Nemesis legend off the board. Right there's Zabungi, Kyler, and Quackbot at the moment. That's looking good. And then the Blackhawks coming through and selecting Mr. Marino, another legend. Again, good to see some good names going off the board here, getting on some teams here. So Mr. Marino going to the Blackhawks. That's going to round out their roster. So Finner, Music, Bradish, and Mr. Marino on that roster.
Yeah.
So there's some more rosters there, Gallium, that are almost rounded up. I guess Wyvern's not quite, but the Blackhawks going to complete the 4-piece there.
Yeah, I just want to harp on Kyler for a second. I think this dude is going to be one of the best players in prospect. I'm really upset that I couldn't draft him because I know if I drafted him, he wouldn't be as successful on my team as other teams. And that is like 100% the only reason why I didn't draft him. This guy is one of the most mechanical players in prospect. He's really nice. He can adapt probably the best out of every single prospect player. I've there's so many high things to say about him. And then Mr. Marino going to the Blackhawks, such a great guy, and an even better value player. For his MMR, Mr. Marino should not be down that low. I don't know why he is down that low. I think he can really help out these mechanical players who he's going to be playing with. I genuinely think he has one of the best defensive formulas for himself out of every single prospect player. And then you have Minotaurs. I don't know if I'm allowed to leak this. Oh no, it's already on stream.
It's already
Selecting Stumpy along with Adiso. I know this guy. I cannot pronounce his name. I'm sorry.
I said Ad Tai So.
Ad Tai So. Yeah, that's right. I try to say it too fast. I think both those guys are going to work well together. I feel like as a team, they're going to do really well. And Banshees just selected Rico. Wow, that's a great pick. That's a great pick for Banshees. I'm a huge fan of that. But as for the team that I'm looking at right now, that I'm kind of like, how is this allowed? I'm going to be honest. I think it's the Blackhawks as well as Fleury. Fleury is definitely the best team in prospect. Seawall, Bondo, Dill, Chad. I don't know how Bondo is 1451. That dude is definitely smurfing. Like, what are we doing? And the Blackhawks with Finner, Music, and Bradish. Music, this guy literally just, no matter how many games he's down, will always find a way to win. This guy is a winner, and I think the Blackhawks are definitely going to make a push for the Nemesis, for the Prospect Cup, I guess. Is there like an actual trophy that we hand out?
No, unfortunately not. But Prospect Championship works.
Yeah, I like that.
Cool if we had a little cup there, but
yeah,
unfortunately we do not at the budget yet. But potentially, we've talked about it before. But yeah, definitely some scary rosters here as we close out round number 2. we're gonna get quickly through rounds 3 and 4. I'm not gonna lie here. There's only 6 more picks to be made in the entire Prospect League draft, so we're getting down to it. Let's quickly recap round 2 here. Grebsy, I'm gonna start with you here. What are your thoughts on round 2? Based on the picks off the board here, any teams that you're looking at the moment as well? If you have any eyes on anyone out there.
I was just checking out the Wyverns team here. I played with Quackbot back when I was a whelp, and he was as well. And he can hit some of the fastest, most insane plays that I've seen. And you're teaming him up with Kyler and Zabungi. They're going to pop off. I think they're going to have a really great season. And I was agreeing also with, where did Marino go? The Blackhawks. I think that team's going to be also amazing. I used to play with Marino, and also, as you said, very, very technically skilled and very intelligent gameplay.
Nice. Love that. Love that. Definitely some 2 teams to watch out for. Mallow, what do you think about round number 2? Any surprises out here at the moment?
The surprises would be who hasn't been picked up yet, but
Yeah.
there are still a couple of picks by the Gladiators to right that wrong. Oh man, looking at this list here, yeah, Flurry, tough team. Yeah, they're going to go very far. Everyone so far has agreed Wyverns and the Blackhawks, both scary-looking teams. So, fantastic job there by Music and Midnight picking the Blackhawks out.
Yeah, definitely. So, Gallium, before we move on to round number 3, any thoughts here? Any thoughts quickly?
Yeah, I feel like this round 2 needs to kind of be flipped upside down. I feel like there are some players who should have gone earlier who didn't. Really happy with my round 2. I think Rami and Press are gonna go insane, especially teamed up with Maki and Mocha Latte. I think Creed going first in the second round is kind of nuts. I thought he'd go first, but it depends if he's active or not. I don't know with that guy. Ultimate's Rule should have gone a little earlier, but overall, I think this round 2, people definitely got some steals. I definitely think so.
Yeah, definitely so. So, good job on everyone on that round number 2, and we're gonna move on to round number 3 now. So, like we mentioned, we got a lot of rosters that are filled up. So, there's only 6 total picks left in the Prospect League draft. So, hopefully, good luck to everyone here. There are a lot of great names. It's gonna be very tough to narrow it down, really, with MMRs and the names that are left here on the board. So, hopefully, we get some people find some good homes. As looks like, what do we got? I believe there's only 4 picks in this round here for round number 3, but the Gladiators are going to come off the board. They're going to select Tex with their pick. So Creed, Chiefs, and Tex, and that's going to leave them 1452 to work with. So the Gladiators definitely saving some room up there as they make their pick. And Hypernova is going to come through, and they're going to select another Nemesis OG here, NJ111. Remember him from season 8 when it was formerly called the Goats. He was an all-star back there in the Provisional League. So he is going to go off the board. So 2 quick picks here in this round, and that's going to put Velocity on the clock here for pick number 42.
They're going to have the answer to everything. And with that pick, that's a pretty good pick too.
Yeah. Well, the pick does come through. They are going to go ahead and select Nixoy. Love that to see Nixoy get off the board there. Another, again, I love new names too, but I love seeing these Nemesis legends get on some teams here as Nixoy is gonna get selected. So congratulations to him going over to the Velocity org. That's gonna put Wyverns on that clock. So that's gonna round them out. Velocity there, Mala, with Jonesy, Hydra, Redwater, and now Nixoy, and then Hypernova. They're rounded out as well. Sticky Kazoo, Cream, Air Wiggle, and NJ111.
Oh man, those teams, they both sound scary. And with that being said, we got 2 teams here with 1 pick left, and both of those, well, at least 2 of the teams out of the 3 that have a pick left can pretty much pick up anyone they want. The Bandits with the last pick. They have a cap room of 1549, so they can just they can pick anyone they want.
Yeah, definitely some options out there. Gallium, as we head into these last pick of the third round, and we got 2 picks only in the fourth round. Who are the big names on the board that you think deserve a good home if they're able to fit?
Um, Gosh. I think that big thing that you said is if they can fit. I don't
Yeah.
think like anybody can pick anybody they want. I like Guja a lot. I'm a really big fan of him. The fact that Crispy wasn't selected, I think that he peaked a little too high for anybody to really take a chance on him. But I genuinely think he probably should have gone in the second round. So yeah, other than that, TTV Halo Boys is somebody I was really looking at. Unfortunately, I couldn't go with him, but I really liked him on that diffusion team last season. He won the chip, so another guy along with Day.
Yep.
Not gonna lie, oh my gosh, he got drafted. Oh my gosh, bro!
Right as you say it,
Thank you.
he's going over the Wyverns. Mr. Day, the last pick of the third round to the Wyverns.
Wyverns, you got yourself a steal. Don't ever forget that you got yourself probably one of the best low style players in prospect. That is a great pick.
Yeah, he's going to end up being the third highest MMR, just barely above Quackbot. Him and Quackbot are pretty close there. So Zaboogie, Kyler, Day, and a Quackbot on the board. So yeah, that is going to do it for round number 3. And we're going to head to round number 4. Only 2 picks to be made in the 4th round. Still a lot of good names. Like I said, as I said last at the end of the novice draft, and as we get to the end of this one, don't be too discouraged. There are always a lot of roster moves that are made in the first couple days, first couple weeks. So stay active, and you will definitely have a good shot here to get on team. But we got 2 more picks to be made before that has concluded. So let's start with the Gladiators, who are going to go ahead and select KNY. I think it's Kenny. I don't know, or KNY there. He is going to go to the Gladiators, and that's going to put Mr. Sandsbar and the Bandits. They have room to select anybody in the world
Yeah,
in the
wow.
Prospect League with their last pick. So definitely some options there. As
Come on, Crispy.
That one is off the board there. And
interesting.
The Bandits are going to go ahead, and they're going to go a little bit down, but selecting another known Nemesis name, Sky Newbie, with the last pick there. So Kenny and Sky Newbie, last one's off the board.
My gosh.
And that is going to round it out. All the teams are full. So
I think they might have the most cap room left out of all the teams. I think they have like 200.
And that's no cap.
They have a lot. Yeah. No. Thanks, Noah. Thank you for that. But yeah, that's gonna round it out for the prospect draft, and pretty much almost gonna round it up for tonight. But before we do, I want to swing it around as we do one more time. Let's start with Grebsy this time. I'm gonna swing it to you first. We've talked a lot about these teams, but now that we got things all completed here, the rosters are set. Who are you looking at? Give me a top 1, top 2 teams that you're gonna be looking at this upcoming season.
And I honestly, I got to stick with the Origins. I think is my top one, just because I am very familiar with those names, and you guys are a full returning team, right?
Some trades,
but you're doing it your way. That said, I am going to throw it back to the Wyverns again. I think they have a great team, and as Gallium said, with Day being picked up, they were already a strong team. So that's just 4 great players they can choose from. I think they're going to have a great season.
Yeah, definitely some teams to watch out for. Mallow, who are you thinking? Give me a top 1 or top 2 teams that you're like, this is a scary team right here.
One of the teams in no particular order, Warhawks. I think that's a strong team. That's going to be a scary team because I've played with or against 3 of those players at least. They're all great. I think that's going to be a good team there. And then of course you can't bet against the Dan plan. Flurry is another team that's scary.
Yeah, definitely. So that's a team I'm looking out for sure. Gallium, who are you looking at here? There's a lot of good teams. Give me something here.
Okay, Flurry is definitely number 1 for me. Seawall, Bondo, Dill is a Chad. The fact that Dan has continue to convince Izachad to resign is a miracle. It is a Christmas miracle because Izachad literally has some of the most heartbreaking playoff losses of all time, and he still is like, Dan's got a plan for me. Dan will lead me to the promised land, and I respect it, man. I really respect that. And I think a team that is really good that nobody's kind of harping on is Ember. I think this team is definitely a sleeper team. Okay, you got Sub-Zero, a great solid player. Jeff Masters, also a great solid player, and my boy Seawink, who is incredibly fast and going to be an absolute nuisance, as well as Ultimate Rule, who is probably one of the best subs in Prospect. And I honestly think that I think he should be a starter. I'm not gonna lie. I think he is really talented, and I think along with all the rest of the players on Emperor, I think they got a really good squad. I think they'll consistently win games and probably make it to the playoffs. I mean, who knows with that team?
Yeah, definitely so. And one other team, I don't think we mentioned this team at all, and I just want to give them their their time to shine here. The Vipers out here, one of the teams like Origin that was fully re-signed after the season, got some great people moving up from the Novice League, and probably one of the best names in Nemesis right now, Brad McSnackwrap. That is just a great name there on the Vipers with Cat, CJ Fire, and Mr. Nivox. Nivox. But that team, I don't know what they're going to do necessarily, but I want to give them their due. Fully re-signed, so they got some chemistry. I just want to say, watch out for them as potentially a sleeper team coming up there. But yeah, again, a lot of good teams. I really like the Melons as a team. It's just the Melons in Prospect League. There's something about them. It's them in Origin. They're always competing in Prospect League, I feel like. So I'm watching out for the Melons, but a lot of great teams. And another great draft here for day number 1. So congratulations to everyone that got drafted. If you didn't, like I said, be active in the Discord. That is the best way to get onto a team, especially like I said, there's gonna be roster moves. Things aren't gonna work out in these first couple days, couple weeks. So stay active and you'll have a good chance. That is for sure. But yeah, I think that's pretty much going to do it here. Once again, thank you everyone who supported us tonight. We are back here tomorrow night, tomorrow evening, I guess I would say, 6 p.m. Eastern, an hour earlier than tonight, because we got 3 drafts to go through. We got Challenger, Rival, and Titan tomorrow. So make sure you guys tune in. It's the big boys, the big hype out there for those leagues. So it's going to be a lot of fun. That is for sure tomorrow night. So yeah, with that being said, I think it's going to do it for us here. Thank you all for watching. And we'll talk to you guys later.